Remember that time Jesus went up on a mountain and got all shiny?
Wait, Jesus has superpowers? Like, beyond the normal superpowers, but light superpowers?
Today we're going to play Dix It. I'll explain how it works. Each of us gets 6 cards. If you're looking at them, they're super abstract. You can look at them. Don't let anyone else look at them. Here's what you want to do. You're going to give one sentence or a story, I don't care, something about your card, okay? You want the other people playing, you want one of us to guess which card was yours and one of us to not guess which card was yours. If you get us all to guess, you get no points because it was too obvious. If you get no one to guess, then you were too obscure, so you don't get points because you weren't telling.
I will be
story.
bad at this game.
So if Olivia,
This sounds hard.
if Olivia told a story, she wants one of us to get it, the other person not, for her to max out on points. Okay, that's how the game works. After she's told her story, she will put her card face down. You will take a card that sounds like hers and add it to her stack, and I'll take a card that sounds like hers and add it to the stack. So if anyone votes for our card because what she explained sounded more like our card, then we steal her points away from her. So that's how the game works. I'll explain kind of like point system after we've done around. So Olivia, tell us a story about your first card.
I don't want to go first. I want you to go first
You should
so
go
I can have
first.
an example.
Okay, very well. Please hide your cards better than you have because I've already seen them all. Okay,
Mine or Casey's?
both of you. All right.
Do we need new cards?
No,
or?
I didn't see them explicitly. Mostly.
Okay.
I will fly away. All right. So now I'll shuffle these. Our choices include kingdom on a boat, woman planting, and tornado in a hand. Okay, so you have your numbers. You have a 1, 2, and 3. You're going to vote 1, 2, and 3. So go ahead and choose one. Play it face down right here.
Wait, where do we put it?
Right
There
here.
you
Put
go.
it next to mine. No, you don't put it in front of the one you voted for.
Oh,
you just
put it. Okay.
All right, so Casey voted for 1. Olivia voted for 2. And the answer was 2. Venus flytrap. So that was
yeah, I got it.
that was my best attempt to not be obvious at what was going on there. So now let's do our points.
Points.
So yeah, because he voted for yours, you get 1 point. So since only one person found it, I get 3 points. And Casey gets none. Just as we prophesied.
I
Okay,
mean, I'm bad at these games.
draw back up 6 cards. And now Olivia is up.
A Tale of Time.
Make sure they get in camera shot.
Oh, sorry.
So, creepy heart, baby, and a clock. All right. We've got voting for number 1, voting for number 2. The answer was...
The answer was number 1.
Yeah.
Casey, did you understand the reference?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Tale as old. Dang it! Now I get it.
I was really hoping that one of you would get it and one of you wouldn't. I expected you to get it and you to miss it.
I was like, it's got to be that because this is way too obvious. But then I was like, maybe Olivia doesn't know how to play yet. So,
Got him.
all right. So
So,
Olivia
I
gets
get 2
3.
points.
You get 3 points.
3 points. Yeah.
But I get a point.
1, 2, 3. Casey gets a point. Is it
Yes.
8 point?
Yes, that's how many
There's
I
a
got
2.
last time.
Yep, that's correct. So whoever votes for the right one also gets 3 points.
So I get 3 points for voting it correct last time.
Yeah, we did it wrong. So you both should have 3 extra points.
I'm not in last!
Cool. Okay, I kind of like this game. This is fun.
This is partial. This came out, I think, before Mysterium, but it's got the element of Mysterium.
It definitely, as soon as I looked at these cards, I was like, oh, this is so Mysterium-esque.
Yeah, Mysterium, I think, borrowed this as a mechanic. All right, Casey. Tell us your long tale.
Superman villain.
All right, we've got Paperman, Evil Scientist Lady, Bunny Shop. Okay. All right. Voting for number 2 and number... That was not the one I put out. Because number 2 is mine. Number 1. Is it 1?
Nope.
So Casey gets no points because no one guessed right. You were 1?
Yep.
All right, so I gave you 1 point. You gave me 1 point.
Let's go
And
for
please
Toyman.
explain...
Toyman.
Who the heck is Toyman?
It's one of the Superman villains.
It does not sound...
I find Superman entirely boring and know nothing about him.
And I don't
at
know
all.
who Toyman is, but I for sure find that super boring. Toyman?
He creates robots and minions that goes and destroys
I
people's
throw
houses on
toys
Christmas.
at people.
He made bombs into toys.
That's horrible. Okay.
I know.
All right.
That's why he's a villain.
Okay.
Thought I was playing with nerds.
The hills are alive with the sound of music. All right, we have... Who will it be?
Not gonna be me.
Not Paperman, but Leaf Man, Violin Lady, and Arthur, King Arthur Statue Man. I don't know how to explain that. Okay, vote.
I mean,
We have number 2, number 3. This was me. So I get 3 points.
wow.
That's me.
Okay, I thought that was
she
too
guessed
obvious.
right, so she gets 3 points. I got 3 points. Casey gave her another point, and we are moving on up.
It just looks like the picture on the cover. of
That's
the
what I
Sound
thought
of
too,
Music.
because he couldn't explain it. I was assuming it wasn't his card.
Yeah,
I
I
thought
got
that
you
was
on
him
that,
throwing
didn't
us
I?
off.
Didn't I? Yeah. Way to go, me.
A family of blood.
Well, this is terrifying. All right. We have
Glad we went morbid.
creepy lady with lady popping some guy, scarecrow man, and a dead deer head on the wall crying tears as a cat watches while it urinates.
I think that's.
So I'm going to vote for the one she's afraid to keep explaining, as though she's afraid to give that away. Your thoughts? Unless that was to trick.
I'm gonna go with that one.
We've got 1 for 3, 1 for 1. Which one was it?
It was 2.
Dang it! Dang it, I thought it might be 2.
Casey, it was a Doctor Who reference.
Wait, what was it?
You don't know
A
Doctor
family
Who.
of blood. The family of blood. One of them hides in a scarecrow. I needed you to get the reference.
Which one was this?
It's a David Tennant episode.
I must have blocked this out of my memory because I didn't remember.
So I got...
You
get
voted
no
for each
points.
other's.
We voted for each other's.
We voted for each other. So I move 1 and you move 1. and you get nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure we have enough battery for everything.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Shine bright like a diamond. We have
Beautiful like diamonds in the sky.
Statue of Liberty going underwater, cat with the fishbowl, and bloody creepy candle. It's very confusing. We have a vote for 2 and 1.
Nope.
1 was me.
2 was me.
I was going for that. But then I was like, Casey's so obscure, he maybe wants me to think of.
Nope. I
a
was doing this.
crystal ball.
I was doing this little light of mine. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
that's
let
what
it
I thought
shine.
you were doing.
That's what I was trying to
That's
do.
Then
like-
why did you go shine bright like a diamond? That's a different song.
I know, but I was trying to make it obscure enough that Jamin would get it and you wouldn't.
I did.
That's
get
what
it,
I was going
But
for.
then I was like, Casey's usually too obscure to be that possible. All right. My
See?
turn.
I need people to get me. If you got that, comment below.
Dubstep is my sentence. A man stepping upstairs, a woman stepping up a ladder, and pink ballet shoes. A vote for 2 and 1. This was mine. You both get 1 point.
I'm white. Yeah.
All right, Olivia's up.
Okay.
Because for that one, I thought about saying 7 years ago, but I think that would
I almost said dubstep for girls, but then I was afraid it'd be like...
Other Finn.
We have guy looking in a clam. Escape route out of a snail. And grass with a knife. Vote for number 2, so I get a point. And then the obvious one, number 3, which is Grass Fin from Adventure Time. So I get 3 points and you get 3 points. And the prophesied loser is where he belongs. Oh, that's me. Right.
Oh, right. Yes.
Because you don't get me.
Proud of you for getting that one.
Yeah.
I don't know Adventure Time, so I was gonna.
Grass Fin.
Yeah, don't know Adventure Time.
Yeah, Adventure Time. By the
That's
way,
why I knew I could get away with that.
I know.
Jamin would get it and you wouldn't.
Pastor Tyler and myself from 1208-Bit Nerd Church on the 1208-Bit Nerd Church podcast last week, 2 weeks ago, did an episode on Adventure Time. Make sure to go check that out. It's part of the Jackson Cloud Network.
Money, 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 money. Dividing of things on a thing. A scale, or we have a checkerboard with the husband and wife, maybe? Alright.
I'm glad you're checking that.
Yep. It was too obvious, and I knew.
Well,
But what else was I gonna do?
hey, and it's partially just like we didn't have any cards that went with money, money,
Yeah.
money.
See, I had 4, so it was just like,
So you get no
I
points
need,
and each of
uh,
us get 2.
Thank you.
Right. My turn.
yeah. See, I was gonna be bad at this game. I knew it.
Adventure Time.
Why? Why you gotta do that to me?
Remember, check it out. Right here. Go to it. Listen. Chicken and an egg. Snails. Water dropper.
Why you gotta do this to me?
Two.
Oh,
You didn't take. That was just a good guess. It wasn't even a good guess. It was a
50%
random
chance.
guess.
I knew it right away. I was like, snails.
Yeah. There's a snail in like every episode that waves at you.
Yeah, he's a little hidden
He's always
snail.
hiding.
That's
Okay,
right.
interesting.
1, 2.
I get no points. You guys get
1,
2.
2. Amazing Grace, how sweet.
I have nothing good.
We have masks, compass, maze. We
This
have
was probably too obvious.
2 and 3.
It was 3.
Yeah.
Amazing
Oh.
Grace.
Amazing what?
I went too
Amazing
obscure
Grace.
on that one then.
What's the grace?
No, it's just amaze.
Oh, amazing grace. No, you went, I once was lost, but now I'm found. That's what I was.
Oh, hey!
Yeah.
Well, and also the guy that wrote it was a sailor, so
So I got a point, and then I got 3 points, right?
Yep, and then I get 3 points.
And then you get 3 points. I got it right because I saw Casey's hand. So I,
feel
knew
like
this was
that's
his.
vaguely cheating.
Yeah, it is, but
Jamin cheating again.
it wasn't. I wasn't intentionally looking. I just looked over. I was like, oh, okay. Hopefully he doesn't use the mask one because I know that's his. And then he used the mask one. All right,
Okay.
this is our final round due to time restraints. This is the final round. Whoever has the most.
Ultimate winner.
Notice how we've had time restraints this whole time, but Jamin doesn't say that until he has a chance of winning.
No, okay. All right, let me rephrase that. Make way.
I have nothing that's good for
Just
that.
try. Just try. And what we have is a person drowning in a timer, a very sad clown, and a large lady on a beach. And vote. And we have a vote for number 3. And a vote for number 3, because it's Moana. I lost. Olivia gets 2 points and wins. And now this game's no more fun anymore. Today we talk about the Transfiguration. You guys remember this story?
Yes.
It's a
I
big
read it
word.
this morning in preparation for this.
Sure, I heard of that this morning. Yeah.
Yeah, I looked it up this morning. What are you talking about, Jamin?
Yeah, it's a very strange story. If you recall, Jesus takes only a few of his disciples, tells them never to speak of this until he's gone. But he then goes up on a mountain, and him, Peter, James, and John, they go up on a high mountain, and then he's transfigured before them, which I love that that's just kind of stated like, oh, you get it, right? You know, it's like,
He
Jesus
shines
was
bright like a diamond.
transfigured. Yeah, all it says is clothes became radiant, intensely white, as no one on earth could bleach them. And there appeared to them Elijah and Moses, and they were talking with Jesus. Peter said to Jesus, Rabbi, it is good that we are here. Let us make 3 tents, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah. Now, we've already talked about this episode a little bit, about the story in Jesus' life a little bit when we were talking about, mountaintop experiences. Because this was like a mountaintop experience for Jesus, but we didn't like deeply dive into why does he look this way? What's going on? Did I say they wanted to make tents?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Peter's like, yeah, let's make 3 tents. One for you, one for Moses, one for Elijah. For he did not know what to say, for they were terrified. So I'll start with that. That's one of my favorite lines right there. It's just like, our buddy Jesus is very shiny today. And Moses and Elijah, there's dead guys up here. And it's just like, hey, Jesus, who wants to build you some tents? It's a classic moment because the Bible, I love what Mark said, like, he didn't know what to say, he was terrified. You've had those moments where like you just like you don't know what to do or you don't know what to say and you say
You just start
something,
rambling.
you just say something really stupid like, hey, you gotta go buy you a house real quick, like it's just an awkward moment. But like when we're reading it, we should share in that intensity because that's exactly what they're going through. So this is a weird moment.
I mean, that'd be terrifying if if like random ghosts started showing up that were like your heroes from historical times.
I mean, the point's pretty straight. Dead people showing up, right?
Yeah, which
But
is wild.
famous dead people is the thing.
Yeah, I mean these are people who are very important to the Bible, which is why they're the ones that showed up, obviously. But also, why did they show up?
Yeah, well, I mean, to some extent, I'm not entirely sure if they would take it this way, because Moses was seen both as like kind of the lawbringer and a prophet. But when you think of like the mega law guy, you think of Moses, and when you think of like the mega prophet guy, you think of Elijah. So Jesus is always talking about being the fulfillment of the law and the prophets, and it's almost like the head gurus on law and prophets then like show up on the mountain to talk with him as well. So you could go that route. That's at least the way that I tend to think. Why are these guys there? Looks like they're having a conference call really quick.
Before Zoom.
Yeah, and they're up on a mountain. Mountains throughout. We actually talked about this at 1208 Greenwood this past Sunday. But mountains throughout history and even into today were known as like the abodes of the gods, if you will, because they were remote. They were away from those pesky humans. They were places where people thought you would have maybe a spiritual encounter. If you pay attention all throughout the Bible, there's always crazy stuff happening on mountains. Mount Sinai, Moses sees God. Mount Sinai, they're eating dinner and they look up and God's feet are like walking around up there. There's Abraham when he goes to sacrifice his son to God before God's like, no, don't do that. That happens up on a mountain. The idea was up there is where God or the gods live, up in the heavens, and so we are walking up towards them to get to them.
Well, I mean, part of that was rooted in Greek mythology too, Mount Olympus being, the mountain where all the gods lived, so because it was the tallest mountain in Greece.
That's just the way that most ancient cultures would think, because it's the place where heaven and earth intersect. That's the Tower of Babel story. We built our own mountain in attempts to get to God. So, because that's what ziggurats were. That's what the Tower of Babel was. These were like ascents into the heaven, a long stairway to heaven for your first I was going to say AC/DC. I know
No,
that's not
that was
right.
not it.
Then I was going to say Limp Bizkit.
That's not it.
But I think it starts with an L. Linkin Park.
Nope. Led
Zeppelin.
There you go.
There it is. So yeah, you've got the stairway to heaven is kind of what a
Did
tower.
you actually know that?
No.
Oh, good. I'm the only one that
She's
did.
too young.
I'm like 12. Come on.
She's not 12. She's not 12. What were we talking about? Back to my catchphrase again.
Going up to...
Right. So here we are on a spiritual mountain. Or we're on a mountain. We're having a spiritual experience. But who's the deity up here? It seems to be Jesus. He's here. He's glowing, and it's like, what on earth is going on? And when you look at the way that they describe him, he's shiny. He's got clothes that are
Whiter than white.
whiter than white, and like Jesus is painted in the way that they thought spiritual beings looked, because just throughout, like when you look at Jewish literature, spiritual beings were shiny. They were bright, and their clothes were bright. And so you see right here, like, if this is the way that they're thinking, like this is what angels and what spiritual beings look like. And they've been kind of slowly catching on that Jesus isn't just a human, because he can walk on water and stuff. But they haven't fully caught on yet that he's God. And in this moment, suddenly, there's someone who is not human in front of them. And they're like, you can imagine why they're like, can we build you a tent? Because it's something like, who have we been walking around with for the last few years? I'm a little nervous. What are those stupid things that I said in front of the... it's just... You can imagine what they'd be going through.
Just, to me, having ghosts appear like before you is kind of an interesting concept. Just because, like, if today that happened, how would we respond?
Yeah.
In fear, because we're all terrified of ghosts.
It's true.
We make horror movies about it all the time.
Remember last week when they saw Jesus walking on the water and thought he was a ghost? They were terrified then, too. So.
Right. But I mean, like, what if they appeared to you at this point? Like, how would you respond if you were then conversing with ghosts?
I'd probably go check myself into a doctor's office.
So they wouldn't exactly appear entirely like you would think of a ghost, because there's this interesting... When Luke is talking about the Transfiguration, he says, Behold, 2 men were talking with him, Moses and Elijah, who appeared in glory and spoke of his departure, which he was about to accomplish at Jerusalem.
What does that mean, appear in glory?
Well, to me, the way that it comes across is that Moses and Elijah, when they show up, seem to have their own kind of glory, their own kind of radiance. Not like they're God or whatever, but they aren't ghosts. They seem to come across as spiritual beings, like Jesus kind of is pictured here in this passage.
So, like, to put this in layman's terms again, it would be as if, like, they all had their own WWE entrance with the back music playing and lights and brights.
Where is your mind? Like, I saw you start laughing while I was talking. I did not expect that to be the reason why. No, that's not what's going on.
Should have been glory.
Well, it says there in Luke, he describes it. He was talking to 2 men who showed up in glory. So, like, Elijah and Moses, but, like, he recognizes them as men, not ghosts. So it's not like how we imagine ghosts, I'm assuming, at least. It's not going to be like, oh, I could see through them. They're sheer, like, they look like men, just a little bit more spiritual.
They look more epic, I guess, because they kind of look... It seems like if they're showing up in glory and they're surrounded by Jesus, who's now in his own glory, it's like, who are these previous humans who now look kind of like mega humans? This to me is, I would say, it's the in-between of resurrection. So resurrection is putting on a new body that is, Paul says, it's immortal, it's imperishable. One day we get to this point where we're just like Jesus is raised from the dead and puts on a new body, and people kind of struggle to recognize him in it. Mm-hmm. So we one day put on a new body. But what happens in the meantime is there's this other state in heaven that we enter into. Because when you get to the book of Revelation, what's the way that Christians are described? They're described as putting on shiny, bright clothes. They're described in many ways as like kind of entering into God's glory and becoming kind of the more mega humans that God is calling them into in the resurrection. This is like maybe their in-between state on the way. So,
well, because also wasn't there a passage back when Moses couldn't look at God because it would blind him too much? Mm-hmm. But then also because he was in the presence of God long enough, he started to show bright as well.
Yeah, it's almost as though like God's glory, it's like he sucked it in and like shone it off a little bit, but could only do so much in a human state.
Right.
But one day when we're in God's presence, we are in a place where we can do that more. You know, it's hard to like tell what to do with it, but like the way that Christians are described in Revelation is, we all know what spiritual beings look like, right? Christians are starting to look like that in the book of Revelation. And Jesus looks like that in this moment, and they realize this is not just any normal man. And Moses and Elijah, we asked, what were they talking about? Luke says they spoke of his departure, which he was about to accomplish at Jerusalem. In other words, we're here to talk to you. We know you're about to die. You're about to take on the cross. Maybe they're explaining how that's going to go down. Maybe they're just comforting him because they know of the difficulty that's ahead. Whatever the case is, that's the reason that they've come, is to kind of counsel with him. And so that's all the more reason why Jesus tells these 3 disciples who came, is like, don't tell anyone about this. Because just imagine, like, come down the mountains like, Jesus isn't just a human, guys. You know, like, we were up on a mountain, crazy stuff happened, and then
You wouldn't believe it if I told you.
yeah, but they also wouldn't kill him if they told you, right? It's
Right.
like you're like, whoa, don't kill this spiritual being, don't kill God. You know, like there's obviously more going on here, and that's exactly why they show up. Is like you're about to depart from this world and come to us. So you see, like, in order for him to do that, these guys got to be quiet about it. But in order to validate the fact that he is God, they can speak about it after he's left, which is why he tells them, you know, like, you can bring this up later, but not right now. Okay, so as we close out, just going to clarify, re-explain really quick. Jesus has slowly been showing them that he's the Messiah. Up until the Transfiguration, I don't think a lot of them have caught on to the fact that he's God. The Transfiguration is a moment where your mind's just kind of blown, like, based on what we think of spiritual beings, this guy suddenly looks like one. He is more than what we thought he was. He's not just
A prophet.
yeah, he's not just a prophet, he's not just a man. He's more than that. So there's the revelation right there, and it follows on the heels of them realizing he's the Messiah and stuff. So it's just like more and more revelation as to who Jesus is. Transfiguration's a big part of it. But then you have dead people who have been followers of God. Question has always been, what happens to you when you die? The thought was you went to Sheol. Now we see in this moment, oh, hey, the people who follow God are in heaven, and they've taken on kind of like a new state of sorts in their own kind of glory as they receive God's glory on them. And so maybe this will happen to us too. You know, that would be like a general takeaway. And then when you get to Revelation, you see John's constantly describing, if we follow Jesus, we too will become shiny. We too will put on white clothes. We too will rule with God, you know. So you see the like constant development of like, there is more to life than this life. There is something after. And then ultimately there's resurrection at the end, where we put on those new bodies and come back to earth for the new heaven and the new earth. And we'll talk about resurrection on that level some other time. But for now, I think there's a lot more going on in this passage based on what they were thinking at their time than maybe we would catch when we just read it today. So that is some thoughts on the Transfiguration. Well, that's today's message on the Transfiguration. The Jackson Cloud is an online church, and it doesn't much feel like church without some more conversation. So join the community on the Discord channel. You'll find the link down below in the information. And then make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, hit the little bell thingy, and yeah, you know the deal.